All right, guys, so this video is to the young men out there. It's so important for you to develop responsibilities at an early age. Until you start working, you're useless. That's just what it is. So you need to start developing responsibilities, skills as soon as you're able to walk and talk. That's just what it is. Normally, you're not going to get that from a single parent household, your mom, but that's why it's so important to have both. You need both parents in the household. You get the stability, you get a lot of other stuff. There's a lot of benefits to it. The women know that they just don't care. Now, whether this is your actual mom or your actual dad, regardless, you need both parents in the household. That's just what it is. So guys, to my young men out there, basically when you become a team, you need to already start to have some kind of skill or some way of making money legally. Because at that age, you're useless to society. So I'm not saying you gotta go ahead and find you some kind of construction job, you're pulling 12s at 13 years old. Not saying that, but you can wash cars, cut grass, you can clean gutters, wash windows. There's a lot of little stuff you can do. You can sell some online, which is pretty much the easiest thing right there. But you can find there's so many ways you can make money, right? So this you can edit video. I know one guy's I was watching just random videos like I always do on YouTube, and a father he made a short about how he was always mad about his kid always playing video games, Fortnite. And one day he walked in his room and he said, "Hey, you're wasting your time." He tried to encourage him, right? And he's like, "Hey, you need to stop wasting time on video games, blah, blah, blah." Come to find out, his son wasn't playing video games, Fortnite. He was teaching kids how to play Fortnite. And he was like, "What?" He told his dad how much money he was making. He was making a lot of money. And he was like, "Oh shit!" So stuff like that. Now, like when I was growing up, obviously, the cell phone, all this stuff was new. But now you guys literally can make money online. Like that wasn't even a thing back then, right? So now you have all this access to streaming and stuff like that. So you can do a lot of stuff to make money. So guys, pretty much when you're able to start to walk and talk, you need to figure out how you're gonna make an income. So normally when you become a team, you need to start doing that. Now, depending on where you're at, you need a vehicle. Make sure you get a vehicle, and obviously you gotta have some kind of stream of income, whether it's a job or you just, like I say, you probably teach kids how to play Fortnite or Call of Duty or whatever, right? And then you're charging them to teach you how to do that. So to teach them how to do that. Stuff like that is so important because you don't want to wait until you're 18 and you're looking back like, well, dang, my mom, she ain't giving me no money or she can't help me with this or that, because it's all fun and games when you're an infant, right? Because I see it all the time, especially on Facebook. They always putting their little kids online to first day at school, and they buy them little cute outfits until they start getting older, right? You buy them a pair of shoes, guess what? They outgrow that pair of shoes in 3 months. All this stuff doesn't slow down as you get older. So right there, when you start to become like 19 years old, you need to start figuring out how you're gonna make money. Because I'm gonna tell you this right now, 9 out of 10, you're raised, by your mama, that she's not gonna give you that kind of information. She's only gonna support you so much. She's probably not even working. Probably just living off the government. And I'm not bashing nobody. I'm just telling you guys, what's going on. So just be aware of that. So at that age, you need to start figuring out how you're gonna make money. I already told you guys what to do. So just do that. That way you're a productive citizen. Because at the end of the day, we all know that, like I said, I'm not the only one who went through that. It's like, damn, like, even though I was doing a lot of extracurricular activities, I didn't have any money. I didn't have a car. Now, that's really going to hit you when you get, especially now because life is moving. These kids are growing up faster. So when I was in high school, I had a car, but now it's like they want you to have a car in middle school, right? They want that stuff like that. So, well, now you got ride share, whatever like that, but you get what I'm saying, right? They want you to have money and all this stuff like that. Not every girl is like that, but that's just where we at now. Now, of course, you shouldn't be dealing with girls at that age. You should be working on yourself, but you need to focus on that. Focus on building your credit up. Make sure you got your some kind of income. And like I said, depending on where you're at, you may be in a city where you don't need a vehicle. But if you're in a city where you need a vehicle, you need to get a vehicle. That's the first thing that should be on your mind. Get you a student permit or whatever. That way you're able to drive, and then get your vehicle, and then you can go on from there. But no matter what, just make sure you have some kind of way to make money. Because the worst part about being a young teen is You don't have any of that. That sucks because you can't buy what you want. You can't go anywhere you want. You're always relying off your parents or whatever to fund your whatever habits you have, and that sucks. At the end of the day, you become a burden because not every family is just making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to take care of your ass or your siblings. That's just reality. So the best thing you can do for your household is to be able to support yourself. Now I know this may sound a little harsh, but I'm telling you guys right now because I've been through that. It's like life sucked. If I had a time machine, I would never touch my teens. I'll be in my late 20s because I'm already maturing at that age. If anything, that'd be like in my late 20s. That's about it if I had a time machine. Other than that, I would never go back to my teens. Hell no. It sucked. That's what it is. So, of course, if your parents had a whole lot of money and that's a different story, but still, you just feel useless at that age. Now it's different because you got these kids that's 8 years old. They start YouTube channels and Twitch and stuff like that. We didn't have that back then. So now you have a lot of stuff to keep you busy. But at the end of the day, not every kid is going to want to do that. So with that being said, you need money. So the earliest possible, you can start making money, go ahead and do that. And then start creating a structure, a system to where you start building your credit up. That way, when you get in your early 20s, you're already ahead of the curve. But yeah, your teens, like that's the worst part. That's the worst part about growing up. Is like your teens it can suck or it can not suck. The only way it won't suck unless your parents just always got money to do whatever you want to do, whatever. Pretty much. Not saying they're gonna give you the world, like they're gonna just do everything for you, right? But if you want to go camping, if you want to go on if you want to go on a field trip, if you want to go to the movies and you want to take your little girlfriend, stuff like that, money will never be an option. Will never be a problem for you because your mom or your mom and dad will always take care of that for you until you're old enough. Then you go off to your own. But if you're not in that situation, it's so important to be self-sufficient as soon as possible. So that's so important. You need to do that. And I'll tell you guys right now, you don't need to worry about chasing after these girls. Get your life together. I'm going to say this right now. We all know it. A girl's life started at 16, 17. A guy's life started your life starts, you don't start getting the attention, all that stuff like that until you get in your 20s. That's just really what it is. So you don't need to be worried about chasing after no girls. You need to worry about getting yourself together. Get you a job, get you some kind of income, get you a vehicle, if you need one in your city, and then you can go from there. That way, when you in your teens, you already like I said, you already ahead of the curve. And then, of course, when you get in your early 20s, you're doing great because your credit's looking good. Now you can get your own place. You already have a vehicle. You already been making money. Now you're ahead of the curve. Now you can start looking at the ladies or whatever like that. You want to take somebody, take them out on a date or whatever like that. Now you have to worry about being in that position like, okay, I want to take her out, or I want to buy her a gift or something, but you never have any money. You don't have to worry about that because you've been doing it already. You can never compare your life. A man can never compare his life to a female because we live totally different, opposite lifestyles, completely different. A woman, I seen it before, can be completely, I'm talking about dead on the ass homeless, down bad to the maximum level. But if she look cute enough, of course she's not a fatback, a dude will pick her up off the streets, clean her up, and put her in the house with no problem, and will never second guess that. But if it was a dude, not happening, homeboy, not happening. So never look at a female and get mad. Same thing with the OnlyFans. You got dudes who doing OnlyFans. Are they doing great like women? Fuck no, they not. But the women literally, I seen videos about these women literally getting money from random dudes. Dudes ain't getting that. We don't have that option. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but the chance of that happening, if you're going to compare it to a female, it's pretty much non-existent. So again, when I tell you guys, you out here dealing with these females and somebody she can't find a man, this now she down bad, don't take them serious. She did it to herself. All you have to do is look cute and not be a fatback, and you always gonna win. As a female, that's a sad reality, but this is what it is. So guys, focus on yourself, get yourself together, get on your own feet, and then you can start worrying about the females. But as you become a young teen, you need to start making money. That's just what it is. So now you have the internet, so many ways you can make money. So there's no excuse now. There's no excuse. And on top of that, whatever you decide to get on, if Twitch is still around later on, we don't know. Get on it now, because you have to grow an audience. You have to grow a nice following. That's the thing about you being really young. You have a long time to do that. So go ahead and start that when like I said, as soon as possible, because you have so much time to build that following, and then when, like I said, by the time you get in your 20s, oh yeah, you good. So whatever they got going on at the time, go ahead and get on it, build your following, and like I said, don't worry about what's going to happen today or tomorrow. No, you have enough time to build that up. That's all that matters. Compared to somebody who's older, they try to get 100, 200, 300,000 followers in 3 months. Like, nah, it's not going to happen. But you being a kid, oh yeah, you got all the time in the world again. You're gonna blow past that. You're gonna have millions by the time you get in your 20s. Because you got that buffer, you got that 10-year buffer for you to build that following. So yeah, get on Twitch or whatever. I know your parents may not understand it at first, but they'll see it later on. So take your time to do stuff like that, because we didn't have that when I was growing up. We didn't have those kind of options. So again, use the internet to make your money. So yeah, do that, man. Focus on yourself. Get on your feet. That's the best advice I can give you. A young man. Get on your feet. Get your source of income. If you're old enough, get you a job. Like I said, if you need a vehicle, get you a vehicle. Work on your credit. And by the time you get in your early 20s, you're ahead of the curve. And that way, that's something you don't have to worry about. You know, you want to go pick a pretty girl up or whatever. You want to take her out. You want to buy her a gift. You don't have to worry about money being a factor, because you're good. You don't have to worry about a car being the factor, because you're good. You already have that. I'm gonna say this right now. Don't worry about trying to, oppress. No, don't worry about it, because she really likes you. She gonna hang out with you regardless. So don't be trying to get the brand new, the fastest car. No. As long as that thing work, the AC work, especially, one man is always hot. Make sure the AC, the heater work, everything that's supposed to work. Now, I'm not saying get no clunker. I ain't saying nothing like that, but you get you a nice little car. Like I say, get you a Honda Toyota, bro. To start you out, it'll never do you wrong. Get that, something simple, something easy to maintain, and then you off to the races. Because remember, you can always get another car. You can always get another apartment or another, a bigger house later on down the road. Just go ahead and get it started. Don't be trying to make everything perfect. No. Get your own place. You got a source of income. Get your, a nice ride, nothing crazy. Don't get nothing over the top to where you gotta pay a damn car note for 8 years. No. If anything, get some cash. I'm telling you right now. Get some cash, like I say, Toyota Honda, bro. Never do you wrong. And then go from there. Then you off to the races. Because her life gonna start way sooner than yours. Cause she already gonna have guys looking at her when she's 16, call it what it is, call it what you want, but that's reality. Nobody worried about no little teenage boy at 16. Ain't no girls worried about, because they know you ain't got nothing to offer them. So that's what I'm telling you guys. Like, let's do that, man. Again, not bash nobody who's raised by their mama or whatever, who ain't have both parents. But this is to the young men. Get on your feet, man. Source of income. Get your vehicle if you need one. Start working on your credit. And then by the time you get old enough, go and get your own place. That's your head start. Don't wait till you're in your damn 20s and now you want to start. No. The way life is now, life is moving so fast. Y'all, the kids that's coming up now, they growing up, they just growing up faster than any other generation. This is what it is. So just keep that in mind. Don't feel bad. Just get it going, bro. Use the sources you have. You have the internet. You got all these streaming services like that. They're gonna pay you for your views. Go ahead and do that, bro. But remember, do something that you actually enjoy doing. That way it won't feel like a job. And they say you got all the time in the world for you to get your following up. Don't worry about trying to get X amount of followers this month, next month. Don't worry about that. Because you got all that time to get out, and you will get to that point where you will get them followers. So don't worry about it. That's an investment right there. And then on top of it, like I said, by the time you get in your early 20s, you're ahead of the curve. So anyway, guys, you got any concerns, any suggestions, any tips? That way, maybe a teenage kid might come through, a young man might come through here, might be looking for some advice that I didn't put out there. Put it down below. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and no matter what else, take your peace, your pockets, and your purpose.